This is number 1034 in the book. So when I say number, it doesn't mean in Muslim or Bukhari or whatever. It's Bulugh al-Maram, number 1034 on page 429 of that book. Okay. It says, well, I'll just start in the middle. So a man said, my son who was a hired servant with this man committed fornication with his wife. And when I was told that my son must be stoned to death, I ransomed him with 100 sheep and a slave girl. But when I asked the learned people, they told me that my son should receive 100 lashes and be banished for a year, and that stoning to death applied to this man's wife. Allah's Messenger ﷺ replied, by him in whose hand my soul is, I shall certainly judge between you in accordance with Allah's book. The slave girl and the sheep are to be returned to you, and your son shall receive 100 lashes and be banished for a year. And please go to this man's wife, and if she confesses, stone her to death. Agreed upon, the version being Muslims. So, number one, the hadith, this is footnote 1, that this hadith demonstrates with evidence that the penalty of fornication for an unmarried man and woman is their flogging with 100 lashes each, and their expatriation from the Islamic State for the period of 1 year. The punishment of 100 lashes is according to the Quranic injunctions, but the banishment is an addition which is accepted by all the narrators of a hadith. Punishment of an adultery committed by a married man and woman is rajam. They're being stoned to death, in other words, according to a general consensus of all the scholars. This also proves that a single confession made by an adulterer or adulteress is sufficient to establish a penal ruling on them, and thus subject them to punishment. But they are not forced to confess,